Thanks so much for joining this stream. Make sure you check below and hit the like button, and make sure you're subscribed. The lights are on, the cameras are rolling, and we're ready to go live. So make sure you comment and ask as many questions as you can. That makes this experience better, and it lets the algorithm know that this is engaging, and so it goes ahead and invites other people into the stream as well. So thank you very much for making this channel what it is. Now let's compare some e-ink tablets. Hello and warm welcome to you all. We're going to look at these guys today. This is the Wacom Movink Pro 14, is it called, or 14 Pro? Doesn't really matter too much. This is the Pro 14, and then this is the 11, the Movink 11. And I think these are oddly priced in a way, which is a weird thing to say, because I think they're well priced, but they're oddly priced because Wacom tablets are normally more expensive than this. The power button's on that side. And yeah, I find it a bit confusing because I hope we're looking at Wacom coming more into the sort of sensible price ranges. And maybe you saw, let me know if you saw my first sort of unboxing videos of these two today. Just put that out there today. Going to have a little chat about them, going to compare, going to answer some of the questions that you guys have already asked on that main video. And I'm going to, well, I'm going to focus on one more thing as well today, which is this thing. It's going to be a bit of that thing in the background, which is just wow. It really is just an absolute piece of wow. Let me solo that for a moment. It looks pretty incredible in my opinion. That is the ink poster, the 13.5 inch. And I normally like to have my unboxing videos out before I go live, but I just couldn't quite get it all edited and ready for today. So let me know any questions at all you've got about these two. They're both really good, and I have no problems recommending either of them to you. One of the questions I had was about working in OneNote, and that's absolutely great. Really good. I was going to write working in OneNote. And you can see my handwriting there looking really nice and neat. I'll focus on this one at the start, and then we'll go to the other one as well. This is the Movink 14 Pro, what you're looking at here. And working in OneNote is really very nice with this, because you've got this really accurate stylus. What I like about what Wacom is, and why you should sort of think about these, and yes, people have been comparing them to maybe the Samsungs of the world, maybe the Apples of the world, but Wacom are all about the pen tech. Wacom really understand the pen tech, and there's no magnets around here. There's nothing that's going to get in the way of the pen tech. So even when you had, I really like this. This is my Next Paper Ultra 60. Really enjoying using this. But even when you're annotating in here, because they are, you know, a phone company first, and they're thinking, gosh, we need to add all the things that you like on phones, like magnetic cases, etc., then there is just some slight wobble at the sides, for instance. And Wacom aren't going to do that. And I'd love to see Wacom make a phone with their pen tech on it and really get that exactly right. Wacom are going to focus on making sure their pen tech is just so. But I can vouch for both of these so far. I mean, I've not had them for long. I'm not going to get to live with them absolutely long term, because these are just loaners. But the 11 is slightly thicker. They've both got, you know, that sort of premium feel that you'd expect. The 14 is nice and thin. It's I don't know exactly the thinness off the top of my head, but it is nicely thin. It's got more of a plastic back, the 14. I'm just noticing now, more of a sort of metallic back. The 11 also has a camera. So that's a bit of a funny one, isn't it? And I do think in a way the 11, yeah, the 11 is the less premium one. It's got the Helio G99 MediaTek chip. It's good, it's fine, it is what it is. But the 11 is also the, you know, might be the one that suits you because of its price. And this is like £360, something in that kind of region. about $400-ish. And it's good because, well, it's better than HD resolution. You've still got that amazing Pro Pen 3, and you do get that in the box. They kind of make it look like you don't get this in the box, but you do. And you've still got this incredibly accurate pen tech. And I just don't think you can get this quite this accurate at this price, apart from one of the ones that I'll maybe compare just here as well. I will compare that just later, one that I thought was really excellent. But as I say, better than HD. 90 Hertz screen is really, really good. Whereas the XP pen, which is the one I'm going to compare later on, is slightly cheaper, sure. I don't think it has a 90 Hertz screen, which is pretty important actually for drawing. I don't know so much about for writing. Yeah, no, pardon me, it is 90 Hertz, but it's only, so the XP pen is the direct competitor, I think, with this Wacom tablet. And the XP pen has a 90 Hertz screen as well, but it's just basically full HD, the XP pen. I really like this though, I must admit. I've said many times that I really do like the XP pen. But you can see, yeah, certainly when it's side by side, you can see the more pixelated screen there on the XP pen and less pixelated here on the Wacom. And also the Wacom has a nice matte screen. It's maybe not quite as luxury really as the Next Paper screen, but I would say that actually the screen has its trade-offs as well, which is those viewing angles that I've talked about before. But this is certainly a great option, the XP pen, and it's the cheapest of the whole bunch right now, because we've got £260 can buy you this right now, whereas you're going to be shelling out, yeah, £100 more to get the 11-inch Wacom. But as I say, the Pro Pen 2 itself costs that. There is one other thing about the XP pen. I accidentally compared these earlier rather than later, so I'll come back to that. I'll stick with the smaller ones just now, see if I can get them both on the screen at the same time. It's not doing an auto rotate for some reason. This is kind of, I'm not even signing into this. This is, yeah, there we go, auto rotate there. This is in kind of demo mode, which is, yeah, this is how it would be like set up at a demo fair, I guess. So it's kind of like a, but I'm properly signed into the other one, so I can play about more on that. But let's have a look at Sketchbook in both. Why is it not loading? There we are. It was already loaded up here on the Wacom. That's what that is. Let's go ahead and make a new sketch on both. Okay, there we go. And yeah, you've got a EMR pen with 16,000 levels of pressure on the XP pen, and just 4,000, no, pardon me, just 8,000, like just 8,000. It's like it's not a huge amount. 8,000 levels of pressure on the Pro Pen 3. But I mean, I'm hard pushed to see much of a difference between the two. I just want to pump the brightness up a bit on this one, if I can find it. It's one of these, isn't it? Brightness. There we are. And I'm in, yes, that's what it is. I'm in one of the ink modes rather than being the natural normal color mode, which is the kind of gimmick of the XP pen, which has the Next Paper screen as well. But I would say both of them have matte screens. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to pick between the two. It really is, in terms of which has the better pen. I don't know. I think they both have a really, really excellent pen. Yeah, I haven't got a way right this second now to objectively measure that. They're both excellent EMR, yeah, exactly. And they're both very many levels of pressure. So I will just fire in to the chat as well occasionally. Let's have a quick look in. Yeah, from the unicorn. Yeah, I didn't want to get into the Palma, but we could come on to that a little bit later, perhaps. But I think I'm going to focus on this and then the ink poster as well. Yeah, I've always loved Wacom stuff as well. Yeah, I was thinking about this. Like my first drawing tablet I had was a Wacom Bamboo. I think it was like, I don't know, 7 inches or something like this. And it wasn't a drawing. It didn't have a screen like this. You know, it was just obviously connected by USB to the computer. And it was 4,000 levels of pressure with probably very similar pen tech to what is still in our average EMR. And this, incidentally, both of these work with third party. Or both of the Wacom tablets work with third party pens. And so it's great that they come with the Pro Pen, but if you have a preferred pen that you like using, if you like using your Lamy EMR or something like this, both of them work with the third-party Wacom EMR pens. But I do think these aren't quite as good as the Pro Pen is in terms of that pressure response. I mean, it's just made for it. It's just, you know, this is the stuff. What's the difference between the XP pen and the Wacom pen? Just, yeah, how they're different. So 16,000 levels of pressure in the Wacom. 16,000 levels of pressure in the XP pen, and just 8,000 levels of pressure in the Wacom. And that's a kind of indication of the quality of the pen, I think. But I do think that the whole design of this pen, with the accuracy, with the pressure response, is also really, really neat on this. You get different nibs in the box here. I mean, they're both excellent. They're both really, really top drawer. Yeah, they're both EMR. Looking forward to getting the Pro Wacom version. I'm pretty much tried them all, and Wacom feels much better with their pen tech. I'm using the XP Pen Magic Notepad at the moment. So that's interesting. I'd be really interested to know what you think about changing between them. I do think this is slightly better, but it's really just a kind of feeling. I haven't actually got hard and fast facts on that, of which one is better. They're going to have slightly different polling rates. They might have different lines per inch, but both, you know, with these EMR pens, they're both so good that it's very hard to tell that difference. You know, even that Wacom Bamboo, it had some thousands of levels of pressure way back when I was a 20-odd-year-old. You know, it's like 15 years ago. So they're great. They really are good. I'm also going to, might as well do that now, because I think these are direct competitors. The thing is about that, you think 16K is too sensitive. That's interesting. But I think it's more, I mean, too sensitive for me is more about the initial actuation. If the initial actuation is, if you can't get thin lines and really thick lines, and a smooth gradient between them, then it's not good enough. And I think you can on the Wacom, and I think you can, I know you can, on the on both the XP Pen and the Wacom. So I'm happy with both of them, really. I do think, yeah, there's just something about this tablet that I've really, really enjoyed. And this is £100 cheaper than the really excellent Wacom here. So interesting. One other comparison, I suppose, is that this doesn't have a rear camera on the XP Pen, and this one does on the Movink. But I just don't think anyone's really seriously going to use them for cameras of any sort. I'm not even talking about for photography, but it's just going to be for scanning. Other people will make a big deal out of this. The rubber feet, which is a feature which is important to many reviewers, but the XP Pen doesn't have those rubber feet, but the Wacom does. Not something that bothers me really, even when it's out of the case. It doesn't slip around. Yeah, when I write. Okay, not a deal breaker or maker for me. And both have sort of middle of the road, not really excellent, don't expect it to do great things. Processors and chips, I would say both have perfectly acceptable ones, and both are well priced. Both are well priced. I don't know which, for me, I would go with. Yeah, I might be drawn towards the one with the sort of advertised paper-like screen, but the matte texture that is on here is still really nice. The matte texture on the Wacom is still really nice. I think maybe just that next paper screen might just sway me, and I do really enjoy the color on here. Haven't spent a lot of time with the color on here, but it does advertise 99% of sRGB, so I'm sure it's absolutely fine. But this is an IPS panel, it's not an OLED. You get OLED when you go up to the larger one, although that's something that some people on my channel don't prefer. The other option is the slate, the canvas slate, and I find it very difficult to recommend this for two reasons. Not that it's a bad Android tablet, because it's a perfectly fine Android tablet, but it isn't cheaper than the ones that we've just looked at. It's like actually £10 more expensive or something like that than the XP pen, and it just feels like they haven't really thought about making this into a drawing tablet. It feels like what they've done is they've just gone and they've got the same they've gone and got the same stylus technology that everyone else has got. They've gone and got the same Android tablet that everyone else has got, basically, and they have they've kept with this capacitive stylus. I spelled that wrong, actually. They've kept with this capacitive stylus, and you can see the difference there, can't you, between a capacitive stylus look and a EMR stylus, which is just doing everything right here, really. If I just find a space to do some straight lines, actually straight diagonal lines. Really quite wobbly lines there as well. So we could pick the one that was actually drawn with a ruler on that lot. And yeah, the Wacom just actually ruler straight. Cool. So those are the comparisons there. Not a lot to recommend the Huion. Not a lot to recommend the Huion over other budget Android tablets, quite frankly, and that was the disappointment with that. I don't know why they went for not putting their excellent EMR pen tech onto their tablet there. It just would have made a lot of sense. So cool. I'll get a few more questions and things like that if you guys have got any, and then I will fire through the other bits that I've planned. And are you interested to know about this thing on the wall behind me? And we can change a couple of things there as well. I really enjoyed drawing on these earlier on. I really did. And let's just call it up, shall I? I really did enjoy drawing on these two. It was, just using that excellent pen tech that I've been messing around with on the Cintiq Pro 17, the Cintiq 24, really excellent pen tech, been drawing on, and then just to draw in Sketchbook here quite happily and have the same accuracy. It was great. And okay, this might not be the world's greatest drawing, but I really did enjoy making these drawings here. I enjoyed doing the little one. I enjoyed doing this on the larger one as well. And then, yeah, I think I think that you can be confident that these are going to give you as good a drawing experience as those tablets. Now, I was a bit disappointed though, because they advertised this instant, what did they call it? Wacom instant display mode or something like this. it's here. I don't know what I'm searching. Instant pen display mode, right? Now, actually, it should be able to do that wirelessly or by wire. And okay, instant pen. What does it sound like? It should be connect a wire and it instantly becomes a pen display, right? But no. What it is, you have to go ahead and register this first, and then you have to install the client software on the computer, and then maybe when you connect it, you'll get this code, and you have to type the code in, and then you can. It's just long, right? And so I haven't actually been able to try this. The reason I haven't been able to try this is because this is a loan unit, and somebody has used it already, which is great. You know, good that that's what they're doing. I'm part of that loan review cycle, but it's already been registered, and so the software that you get to enable the instant pen display, I can't get it because it's already been registered to someone. So I think also you got to look out if you buy one of these secondhand and you're looking forward to using that, because actually, if somebody's already registered it, it means you can't get the software, then you're going to struggle to get that sort of deregistered from their account and put onto your Wacom account. So I think to call something instant and then make you sign up for an account for some proprietary software is a bit disingenuous, actually. And I think that Wacom need to think about that as well, because if we're trying to come into the world of affordable tablets, which I applaud, correct thing to do, well done, you guys. If you're trying to rule those, you know, for the people who are like me, and like you guys on the stream, for the people who love writing on tablets, who love annotating, who love drawing, who love that solid pen experience, yeah, like Amaran's saying here, solid pen experience, good feeling pen, hold for long drawing sessions while having enough screen space to flex, and lastly, performance. I mean, they're just giving you all of that in a wanna. But then to have an advertised feature that makes this really, really quite attractive, that this can basically become a pen display for your big PC or your laptop as well, and then it just not actually work instantly. I think that's not ideal. So okay, so maybe they'll get that changed. I hope it will. They understand there's issues with that, but I think it's I think otherwise it's really, really good, and it's odd the way it's priced, because the Movink 13 is just plugged straight into the computer, and it's just a pen tablet. But the Movink 13 is like £650, and this is like £750. So it's like £100 extra, and you get a Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. You get a much higher resolution and double the refresh rate screen. You know, it's basically a QHD screen, slightly better than QHD actually, and 120 hertz refresh screen, and it's still OLED. The smaller one's OLED as well, and it's a bit bigger, and it should just plug and play to become your computer pen display as well. So, you know, maybe that's part of the game, that this instant pen display isn't quite as instant as kind of advertised. So there we go. A couple of questions that we had. I mean, so this was done in the built-in app. So it comes with this Wacom Canvas built-in app, and I've been writing on it bits and bobs all day. Yeah, this is quite nice actually, this Wacom Canvas app. It's very, very simple, like incredibly simple. And I was asked, find the rest of what I've written, you know, how does that actually feel compared to writing on a Remarkable? And I said, well, it's better in every way apart from one key thing. What is the thing that makes a remarkable in the slightest? Is that it's not OLED, it's e-ink. Okay, so why is the Remarkable in any way remarkable? It's because Remarkable uses e-ink. And okay, I am not going to replace my e-ink tablets with drawing on this. That I'm not sort of abandoning it thinking, gosh, this is just better, because it isn't. Okay, e-ink is the technology that I want to use for my handwritten notes. It's the one that I want to stare at for long sessions. But the OLED screen is great for artwork. It's great for drawing. It's great for sketching, and it does allow you to have to use things like OneNote and have them sync up really nicely with your PC. Now, Remarkable, up until Remarkable 2, they were using, including Remarkable 2, they were using Wacom EMR. And they've decided to stop using Wacom EMR and move to this, which is a USI-based stylus. It's a capacitive stylus. Because Remarkable, despite having the biggest rubber feet in the industry, look at the size of those. Well, these aren't the biggest ones, but they are in the Pro. They love to use magnets. So clearly they're thinking that magnets are more important to their user base than more accurate pens. And this is way better than that Huion was in terms of the accuracy of those straight lines. But it still isn't EMR accurate. And that, for me, it's not a deal breaker because you're just writing rather than drawing. But EMR will always be better than that. So e-ink is amazing for, as you said, yeah, Amarin, the UK is super clean on the text, great for long hours, good for your eyes, and you only have one pair. Awesome. Going to get to some more of these comments and quotes after I've just finished this little section. So yeah, for OneNote, it's great. I think that's really nice, and it's a really nice screen feel. Okay. And to split screen, see if I can annotate at the same time. Can I put Wacom Canvas on the one side? Do I go across? Showed me how to do that, but I can't remember. It's got a really nice screen feel. The screen feel is quite soft. It's a nice matte texture, always giving you this lovely smooth lines and great control of the pressure. I mean, look at that. Isn't that delightful? Lovely to see. And it's just a really nice experience writing on it. Okay, so it's got all of those things just right. They're pushing Clip Studio. This is what they're, that I haven't got an account with Clip Studio, so I can't save things, but this is installed as default. For art, I don't know if anyone's used this on Android. I just use Sketchbook, Autodesk Sketchbook on my Android tablets, and it's perfectly fine. I really quite like it, actually. So I'm not going to bother to pay for this at this point. But if anyone's got, anyone suggests that I should try it out, then let me know. I know that Brad Colbo uses that quite a lot. And yeah, I've said, yeah, that instant display was far from instant. I can't really comment on the battery so far. I mean, I charged it to 100% before, sort of half an hour before this stream, and it's on 91 now. But you've seen me dot around. It probably is going to differ very much on your use case, really. So let's have a look at the chat, and then I'm going to put something else on the ink poster and show you that thing refreshing as well. Lots more points as well. Does it compare well? Yes. Oh, we've done that one. Yes, we have. What do I think of Supernote's ink flow app for drawing on a computer? I haven't actually used that, to be quite honest. I did use it once. I did use it once for trying. It's good, but the pressure doesn't come through. That's right. I tried it and decided, well, there's no way I'm going to carry on using this because pressure doesn't come through, and I've got things that do have the pressure. But at least it's an option. Again, though, I think you have to install something. It doesn't just work just directly as a tablet there as well. Yes, we have done these ones. Sorry, pardon me. Find the screen resolution too low on the Magic Pad, and sometimes it can be hard to read clearly and underpowered for my use case on Magma's online collaboration website. So are you going for this? Are you going for the 14 then? I think you did say that, actually. Looking forward to getting the Pro Wacom version, yeah. I think that's a clear step up, but it's like almost 3 times the price, isn't it? So it should be a really clear step up, absolutely. Lovely to hear from you, Allegro. I recently found your channel and bought the Onyx Go 10.3 for my university. How are you getting on with it? Please let us know. Magnets, yeah. Yeah, so that's the thing. I think that for me, although, okay, I must admit that having a big clunky case that makes your tablet really oversized is is not great, so magnets are good for that reason. But Supernote, for instance, I've got around it by having a really nice clip-in half folio, or I've got more of like a pouch that I use with my Supernote at the minute, so I don't even have a front folio on. So I think personally, and this is why I'd be interested, like what a Wacom phone would be like, or a Wacom e-ink tablet. I mean, what would that be like? You know, why not give it a go, Wacom? Like, don't do it half-heartedly, even if it takes you like 2 years to do it. Actually, I think a Wacom e-ink tablet would be great. You know, and actually, if they decide not to go for magnetic accessories, you know, it doesn't need to snap. I don't need my pen to snap to the side. You know, that's not like an essential. It's just because Apple do it that everyone presumes it must be a thing that people want. You know, an Apple, the Apple Pen technology works in a different way. It also has a Bluetooth, which is constantly telling the screen what orientation it is, how close it is to the screen, and everything like that. So Wacom, essentially at base, it's a similar technology to this. It's using the same touch sensitive grid as your finger uses, but because of the extra information the tablet, the iPad is getting from the pen about its position and its acceleration and things like that, it's able to sort of smooth those strokes out. And iPads have obviously got great processing power, so they can manage that really very well. And I kind of joke about you can keep your Apple Pencil sometimes, because I prefer EMR. EMR for me is greater than the Apple Pencil every time. And you can talk about like actuation. Like I always find long sessions with the Apple Pencil, you have to press too hard. And I know you can change that a little bit as well. And also the Apple Pencil famously has got the hard nib that lasts for longer, but doesn't give you the kind of tactile feedback that these ones do. And you have to pay a lot to get the matte screen on the iPad, and it's not much different from this one as well. You know, it's for me though, I was thinking, you know, they've called it a Move Ink. All right, so I think, you know, hopefully I'm predicting the future here. I think a Wacom e-ink tablet. I'd love to see that. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. What would you like to see? What should they make sure they get right if they were to do a Wacom e-ink tablet? They're involved in the Mont Blanc pen. You know, they're involved in the USI consortium as well, because Wacom just want to make sure that they don't do a Kodak, that Wacom stay at the top of the pen technology game. And they're less of a hardware company than they are a kind of licensing company. You know, I guess Wacom maybe like see themselves maybe as being a bit like the arm of pen tech. You know, like that actually people will design technology using their designs. People will make technology. They will manufacture technology using their designs rather than them have to make this. Cool. So let me know what you think. What would a Wacom e-ink tablet be like? Let me know. A few more comments as well to have a little quick look for. How's the palm rejection? Yeah, okay in most apps. I mean, this is like, because actually the pen is, it's actually registering the pen from quite far out. Can you see that? If I hover over there, it's actually like I'm a good centimeter above, and it is actually registering the pen. So actually the palm rejection works by, oh, there's a pen here, so I'll ignore anything in the kind of shadow of the pen. So if you think about where the pen is, imagine the tablet's going to try and, excuse me, it's going to try and ignore everything in this region. There's one thing, when I was in Sketchbook, I actually had some dots here, and I've kind of erased them a little bit. And I wonder if that was partly like, I don't know, my sleeve or something. But I just had that in Sketchbook. I haven't seen that in any other app at all. So not too bad. There's one of the points they talked about, which was the who. Let me know who talked about what. Is it the pen that makes it feel soft, or the screen? Is there a coating, or is it etched? No, it's etched. This doesn't have a screen protector on it just now, I don't believe. So it's a really nice screen Don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know if it's exactly if it's etched or if it is a coating. Doesn't look like it's got a screen protector on the front of it right now, but it is a really nice screen. It's also got a fair bit of give. You know, it's also got a nice bit of flex to it. It feels kind of plasticky as well. Yep, loving Sketchbook. I mean, for a free app, I know there are some paid upgrades as well, but everything's there as well. Yeah, high paint is good for drawing. That's what came on the Wacom. Not, pardon me. That's what came on the Huion as standard. Yeah, it looks a bit too bright, this one. Yeah, you can actually see as well. It's if I put this one in, you can actually see that it's a bit brighter than the surroundings. I had to sort of brighten this one up and tone this one down. But obviously you've got control over the brightness there. But there's no camera, and most tablets use their front camera as a sort of auto brightness. I don't know if this one does use it, because whether they would have put an auto brightness in, I don't know. So I'm guessing there's no light sensor in this as well. So maybe that's part of it. Maybe you'll be spending quite a bit of time changing that brightness. It is quite a bright. It's an OLED screen, so there's no wonder it's a sort of quite a bright screen there as well. Would have given my IT for a Movink 11 not so long ago. Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, it is really good. But you are happy with your Palma, so I'm delighted for you. You're going to get the Pro 14. Good stuff. Another type of device I've waited and hunted for years. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like, it's kind of like you think, oh, that would be good, and then you wait and you think, it's like the e-ink phones. You wait and you think, oh, I really want this. This is going to make all the difference, and then you've got too much choice after a short amount of time. But it's how obviously markets work, and they sort of predict what people will want, and then they're all designing these things. And now, of course, there's going to be the Viwoods as well, and I'll be really interested to think about what's the best kind of combo of tablet and phone size device, or phone. Yeah, what's the best combo? And that's going to be a little bit of a kind of sort of theme, I think, for a few videos coming soon. Let me know what you think of that. Yeah, it's probably, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've got quite a large video light in the background as well. Recently sold for the TCL 14-inch, yeah, but that's going to be a USI pen, isn't it? I believe. I can't wait for TCL to jump in this with their partnership with XP Pen. I think that's a no-brainer, I would think. Yeah, you'd have to see it in person. I mean, it's okay. It's like any other OLED, really. Like, it is quite bright. It's 120 Hz. I don't know if it's variable refresh rate or anything like that. Not a huge fan of OneNote. What other note-taking app would you recommend for this tablet? I mean, anything in the Play Store, really. I mean, like, you can. The other really popular ones are Evernote and I don't know if you can get Good Notes. One of either Good Notes or Notability is only on. Yeah, so the Good Notes is on this as well. Notability must only be iPad then. And the other one that I've seen people recommend is, can I just remember? No, you can't write in Notion, can you, with a pen? I don't think. Yeah, I actually really enjoyed using Good Notes. It'll probably make me sign into an account, so I won't be doing that. All right, yeah, fine. It's not my real account, because this is just a tester one. But this was really good, and I did really quite enjoy. I used this for quite a long time, teaching on this on my iPad at one point. Yes, I'm ready. Let's go. I quite liked, yeah, squared paper with little covers and things like that. They're quite cute, aren't they? Yeah, and they're quite nice canvases that you can work on. So definitely try the Good Notes out if you're interested in something different. Evernote's a kind of different type of app, really, isn't it? Anyone else use Good Notes? Anyone else recommend any others Oh yeah, that's nice. So you can imagine what I was using my iPad Pro for, the first iPad Pro that I got. I was doing a lot of teaching. I'm a physics teacher. So I was doing a lot of kind of like sketching of diagrams and things like that, and doing a lot of like calculations. Don't know why, but I'm always, it's always Hooke's Law I go to. But yeah, so, and more complicated than that, like lots of like multipliers and things like that. Yeah, so that's, I hope that's a good idea. Any other ideas of things, any other note-taking apps that you would recommend to mark DB? Everything I've ever has been EMR except for recently. Yeah, that's right. It's all, I think that, yeah, so this is my hunch, I don't know. I think that Wacom have been licensing out their EMR technology. I think they've been licensing out their EMR technology, and I think they've recently realized that they should be taking more of that tech, more of the actual hardware pie and less of the kind of, I think, as I say, I think they'd love to just be a designer of pens, designer of technology, and let other people make the actual software. But I think they've realized that there's a lot of money in these kind of note-taking tablets that people are enjoying. So I think that's what's happening. But it totally is just so I think they've made it more expensive to license their software, and or license their EMR technology, let's say. And so things like this is like the third-party Norris Digital Jumbo. They've always kept this for their kind of entry level. This is their, you know, I don't even know what generation of EMR tech. I think it's like their second generation of EMR tech. And that bamboo that I was talking about at the start would be their kind of first generation of EMR tech. And they've said, well, okay, we'll sell that generation off cheaply, and we'll save our Pro Pen for the our own things. So the Pro Pen, they're going to keep proprietary, and the normal EMR, yeah, let's call it regular EMR, they're going to license. So this must somehow, I don't know how it does it, but it works with both. It works with both the Pro Pen and the regular EMR that they license in the third-party pens. But the Pro stuff, anything that's branded like Cintiq Pro, will only work with the Pro Pen 3 at the minute. So you've got to, that's confused it working with that one. No. Because I'm on rubber for some reason. So the Pro Pen 3 will only work with the, this is a Pro branded thing, so that confuses matters still, but the Pro Pen 3 will only work with the Cintiq Pro. So I think that's yeah, I think they do a great job, don't you? They'd have to really work on the software for a long time though, so take the time and say, let's do it. One thing I noticed in my Samsung S24 Ultra is drawing with the pen, even though it's Wacom tech, the Wacom tablet with the same pressure feels off on the S24, making me press harder. Yeah, do you know what it is? I think that Samsung are a hardware manufacturer, so they want to sell S Pens. So if you ever try putting a, now I promise this is exactly the same tech as this even on. Yeah, if you ever try putting a Wacom EMR, you see it says this. If you put a normal Wacom EMR, it says only use S Pens designed for your Galaxy Fold. Other S Pens will damage the screen. They won't. If you're using the S Pen Pro, set it to Z Fold mode. Right, okay. So Samsung want to sell you S Pens. So Samsung, oh yeah, that's the Samsung S Pen. And I think they achieved this by making it a different kind of actuation point. So you're absolutely right. That's why it feels off, is because you have to press, I think, I want to say hard. I want to say less hard on this. You can see here, look, it's not come through S Pen. It's not coming through right. It's coming through as an eraser by default when I'm using on here, the S Pen, but it is actually, and you probably can't see it. Yeah, look, it is registering it. And what that does when you press a button, yeah, that does nothing when I now press the button. What that does is it changes the kind of like setup of the coil in there. So you get a different kind of current in that coil when it resonates with the EMR. So that's funny, isn't it? It's instantly an eraser, and that's just the difference. Oh, look. The eraser side, well, it shouldn't surprise me, should it? The eraser side works on the Z Fold. So Samsung are using Wacom's EMR tech. Let's use Wacom's EMR tech. Let's pay their license, but let's make sure that for our devices, people have to buy Samsung pens. And that's quite annoying, really, isn't it? Because actually, that'd be quite cool. I could have a Stadler designed case that made my excellent phone. It's been with me for a long time, this, and I've only just stopped using it. But it still has to sort of stay on because so many apps I'm still logged into it. It's really annoying, to be quite honest. Turn the thing off and just forget it for now. So many accounts it remembers that it's just like there. It just sort of has to be used at some point. But that's really interesting that the S Pen acts as the eraser of this. There we go. I was today years old when I realized that. It should perhaps be a short, shouldn't it? So that's why. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Good contribution today. If I had to, when I coach my my boys team, my under sixes, I'd always give a most valuable player, but it's been Amaran today. Well done, you. USI has been driving me nuts. We just like it. Yeah, it just isn't the same as EMR, is it? I'd like to see it, but I think they won't. It's a relatively niche market. Yeah, I always think creative arts as well with Wacom, and well, I know you draw them kit, but is there a real market for them? Or for drawing on the e-ink tablet? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think, there's a reason why if you paint, then you still carry a sketchbook and you work on form with a pencil, if that makes sense, and you maybe work up some ideas about colors. But then when you come to your painting, you have all these like black and white sketches that you start from, that you kind of references. The kind of the image of somebody sitting for a painter, that isn't really what happens. A painter comes and draws lots of sketches, and then they work on the painting in their studio. They might bring the painting in, or the subject might come to sit for a little while so they can look at colors at some point. But painters don't tend to start from scratch and just work straight in front of them. Some do, don't get me wrong. Everyone's got their own way of working. But yes, there certainly is a place for drawing on e-ink. And actually, this is a USI, and I really enjoyed drawing on it. But it isn't, compared to drawing on here, which I loved. I was absorbed with drawing this thing here today. So let's do it. Let's go ahead and put this onto the thing up here. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. So this is the Spectra 6 e-ink panel there on the wall. Zoom in a bit. Try and make sure it looks okay on the horizontal and on the vertical. Live stream. We're doing both at the same time. Who's on horizontal? Who's on vertical? Let me know, please. There we go. And it is just wow. And then you'll also be able to see the ink poster app down here as well. And you'll notice here, look, I have to put them in. When you put your own one in, you have to put it in. You have to put it in upside down. But let's pick some artwork first of all. What do you fancy? That's not Dejanay and plein air, is it? It's something like that. What do we go with? This is like this. Yeah, this is a nice bit of impressionism, isn't it? Manet, isn't it? Yeah. So sending the artwork, so it should be coming through now. There we go, sending artwork across here. No, Beth Morisot. So pardon me, not Manet. That's nice to give you a little bit of information about it as well. Oh, that's quite cool. Look. Yeah, stuff for you to find out about stuff. And you know, one thing that they were really talking to me when they talked about this at IFA is like it's about having your own kind of digital art collection, really, and understanding art. And the ones that they've given you in the in this app are handpicked to look really good on the e-ink. I think it looks absolutely fabulous. I think it looks really, really great. Okay, the greens, maybe if we compare to this image that was sent to it, the greens are maybe a little bit darker. It is darker than reality. Green tends to be a color that all e-ink forms struggle with. But I think it looks great. It's 13.5 inches. It's 16:9 aspect ratio, this. Absolutely great. Now, and the app's perfectly fine as well now. Your private images you can send to it as well, right? But you'll notice, like, for some reason, when you add your own images, I have to put them upside down. Otherwise, they come through upside down. So there we go. We'll send that image. And this is the image that I drew here on the Wacom. And we'll see what you think. I really liked it. It's just 3 layers. It's just a kind of pastel layer, and then the color layer, and then some ink on top, really. That's all it is. I think this is absolutely fabulous thing, this ink poster. It's not cheap. I can't wait for it to come down in price. That's crazy. Is that for this thing? I suppose. No, it's not actually. Oh, that was the. That's crazy. Was for the eraser there on the S Pen. I think it looks fabby. I think it looks really, really good. And this is, for me, this is what I'm really excited about. I'm really excited about being able to make drawings and just share them up. I'm really, yes, Neil, exactly. I'm really excited. Can you just see me face planting in the corner, Neil? Oh dear. Oh, well, anyway, you've carried your British humour down under them, haven't you? I think, you know, I'm looking forward to coming home from a day out or something like that and thinking, oh, there's some cool snaps on your iPhone, Steph, and, you know, shove it up onto the ink poster. I'm looking forward to, like, looking through my own holiday snaps at the end of a trip and doing that. And I think you've noticed I've actually got 3 different sizes. This is Spectra 6 here as well. This is Spectra 6 here as well. It's the type of ink that looks best for kind of glossy photos. It's a really kind of really cool thing. Cool. That ink poster looks really cool. Yeah, it is Bluetooth, I guess. No, is it, or is it Wi-Fi? No, I think it's Wi-Fi. But the battery's got a little charging port that just comes out just here. So there's, sorry, you can't really see that. A little doorway just there. I've got a full video on it from IFA if you wanted to have a look into that. It's really cool. It's not cheap in the slightest bit. So actually, yeah, it's ink poster is what it's called. Spectra 6. Ink poster, it costs a lot. It costs, this one costs £1,700, I think. Yes, please. Oh, come on. So this will be in euros. This is this one, £1,800. Let's convert it straight away. This is the largest, but it isn't the highest resolution. You can see this is basically a 4K resolution, look. But it's not quite as wide. It's not 16:9, this one. That's the best one. You see 2,400 quid. Yeah, it's very expensive. What I would say, if you think this is cool, then look at something this size, because this is reflection frame. It's only 300 quid. I say only, like that's not expensive in its own right, but that's the same size as this, 13.3. Ink poster, they were the first to sort of announce they were doing this, and their prices are a little bit eye-watering. But it is really nice. It's incredibly heavy the way it is up there, and it just attaches by one sort of hook thing, so you can turn it around. It is on, like, it looks almost that it's at an angle. It's just my camera's slightly from moving it around. It's slightly at an angle, so it is actually up on the wall correctly. It's just the angle of the camera is making it look a bit skew-whiff. So I promise I haven't done a bad job of hanging it. But it's very, very heavy. It's quite nervy putting it up there. But it's great. I mean, I'm just really, really impressed with it. Do you want to see another one? Do you want to... I'll just do one more change then. You can see I've got my photo there. I mean, that would be... no, I've done that in the main thing. Let's just do another artwork to choose. I don't know if they're going to, I mean, if that's all, hopefully they sort of bring other things. These are the ones that are all the same aspect ratio. I mean, that was the first one I did, was The Last Supper. And actually it came through not at its best, The Last Supper. And then it sort of improved. I did a sort of refresh. It's got a mode where it does you can set it to change things overnight. So you can set it so that you like would wake up with something new, which I think is really cool. You know, you can set it to go on a carousel overnight. You know, so every day you can wake up to a new piece of art, and you can set it to a time of day to do a sort of full deep refresh, and it takes about 5 minutes. It's not like ordinary e-ink, which takes like a second or two. Like, no, it takes like 5 minutes to do a full deep refresh. But actually, that's done a really good job. Let it focus on that, hopefully. Maybe zoom in a bit for you. I think it's done a really good job. I've never seen the real Last Supper, so not much of a reference. But it, you know, the colours pop nicely, don't they? Right up close to it, you'll see it's a bit pixelated, but yeah, you'll never be that close to it that you'll see and be worried by the pixels. So yeah, I don't know if they have got collaborations. I mean, these will all be quite public domain-ish type things. I mean, the photos of them, obviously, the things that cost things. Yeah, I'm guessing they do. They certainly would have looked at that. Yeah, I quite like the desaturated look as well. Cool. I'm going to just put me back normal size on the screen now. Just bear with, and then we'll just go one more time through. It's a bit too close. One more time through the chat, and I'll say good evening to you all, or good morning if you're down under. No, I didn't use it. I just projected to the board. So like you had an app on our boards that could sort of just project the screen straight up. Occasionally I did. Sometimes I use a visualizer because being a science teacher, and I used to review visualizers a lot. I really enjoyed that, and it was really good. But they're not something that I've sort of focused on for a little while. And it was great being a science teacher using GoodNotes under the visualizer, because you're constantly demoing things with science. You're just constantly showing them how to do an experiment or something like this. So actually, yes, sometimes I should put the iPad underneath the visualizer and just did that, just so it was just sharing one thing. But most of the time I'd just be using, like, projecting to the screen. I think a Wacom Moving device would be lovely. Yeah, agreed. Autoadjust is something I never use much. It would turn the brightness down when I drew. Yeah, the problem with drawing as well, when your hand goes over the camera, isn't that right? It always turns the brightness down, which is really frustrating. Concepts, so much space for taking notes, even though it's not a note-taking app. Great shout. On the iPad, obviously, you've got freeform now, haven't you? And I like OneNote because you can just have as big a canvas as you want. What tends to happen with me and OneNote is whatever I'm working on, I tend to get columns of notes. I'm not signed into my real one, so I can't show you all the. But if I was working on this, I'd end up having like a vertical column of notes, and then I would, once I'd finished that thought or whatever, I'd move along, and then I'd start writing another vertical. So I tend to end up with these kind of like long vertical columns of notes. I think it's 16 by 9, Neil. Yeah. Note-wise on Samsung tablet. Note Dex, more of an index card style app, works on Android. Thanks for that one. I like Notion, but you can't handwrite, type only. It'd be good to have Notion for handwriting notes. Yeah, I don't know why they haven't added that. I thought that would be a no-brainer, really. Wacom once had their own Android tablet quite a while back, but at that time, the tech was fast enough. I don't think the tech was fast enough, and it also worked as a display screen for PC. Yeah, so it's funny that, isn't it? I think also Wacom Android tablets like really fell out of favor, and even iPads did. I think they didn't like improve quickly enough, but now they're quite powerful computers, and this guy has a Snapdragon 8S Gen 3 it is. Pardon me, it's not correct. 7S. I don't have an eraser on one of these buttons for some reason. There we go. 7S. No, that's not true. I was right the first time. I've got another tablet. I've got another thing that's got a 7S in it. I mean, it's an 8S Gen 3, which is good. It's a good. There's a good Snapdragon in there. Okay, so that is a good processor, and they really came along and sort of moved Android to the point where they were really like good computers in their own rights. Agreed. Yeah, that's the thing. You only really got the choice of that or the bigger S Pen. And then it said you had to set it to like fold mode or something. E-reading is important. Note taking as well as the visual screen tech is critical as the writing tech. There might be compromise, but that pair is critical. Love this. That pair is crucial. Love this point. And I don't think I wouldn't e-read on this. So in that case, you know, this is not a replacement. Is not a replacement for like a Note Max or something like that. Just can't do it because the Note Max being e-ink is just fabulous for that. Have a fold. The screen on mine always fell apart with me drawing it constantly. Yeah, love that. That's what I loved about the fold is just you've always got that little sketchbook in your pocket. Enjoyed the desaturated look on it. Talked about that. That was the ink poster. Like that then. But just too expensive, yeah. I just hope that these technologies will come down in price, and I'm sure they will. I'm absolutely sure they will. So I think just being that as you know, that being expect that to be sort of half the price in 3 or 4 years' time. That's what I would expect. Oh, right. Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, so I probably am wrong about that, and it probably is slightly higher than that. It looks about 16 by 9 to me, but yeah, you might be right. No, I wouldn't recommend it. It's a different device. It's a different device. It's not e-ink. It's not kind of made for that. Like for drawing, yeah. Yep, got that one. Snapdragon 8S better for multitasking, but lower compared to the 7. Oh, right, yeah, so is it more cores, is it? And not so many, more cores, but not as fast in the single core. Thanks for that. That's really appreciated. And that probably is what makes sense for using it in the drawing as well. Need a double-sided device that folds both ways. Yes, we do. I've long since wanted a e-ink on the inside, OLED on the outside device. Will they release a keyboard, etc.? I don't think so, because there's no pogo pins. I mean, I think Wacom are really saying, look, you buy this because, as somebody mentioned earlier on, you buy this if you're a creative professional and you want the best pen for sketching that you want. A great pen for sketching is also a great pen for note-taking as well. So if you wanted something that was your notepad and just great for, as I say, like for me, when I was, now I would almost certainly, if I was to go and work now, I would almost certainly teach in OneNote, because you can actually share your things. I actually did do that at some points because I was comparing them. You can share these out to your class. You can make this kind of class notebook. Actually, that was really good. If you use Microsoft Suite at your school, then using Microsoft OneNote, because I would literally have, I used to have I had the worksheet printed in as a PDF, maybe 2 or 3 pages worksheet, and then I would just solve the problems here when I was correcting their work and showing them how to do it. So they all had access to the notebook. For drawing things, like I've got these amazingly intricate drawings that I've done on the Apple iPad at that point, things like diagrams of magnetic fields and particles in those and all those kind of things. So having accurate pen tech for neat diagrams is pretty important as well. Okay, thanks so much. You can see we're at the point where it's that point just in time. Typing is the best at night until I make a 42-inch e-ink screen as I'm on an OLED low brightness. Yeah, that's just something. Yeah, but it's still, even an OLED with low brightness, I don't think it quite comes to what an e-ink screen is all about. I think so, because it feels quite soft. I think titanium nibs wouldn't be great. Only for note-taking, journaling. I would recommend e-ink for just note-taking and journaling there. I own a Remarkable 2 right now. I'm really looking at Boox Note 5 C, Wacom MovinkPad or ePaper Pro. Maybe wait for the Supernote color. I don't think there's going to be a Supernote color anytime soon, Berksy, but yeah, I mean, if you're Remarkable 2, is it just that the Remarkable 2 is just that bit too old now? I mean, you'll get along with all of those, I think. I think if you've loved e-ink for this time, I worry that you'd pick up the OLED screen and you wouldn't love it for so long, and you would like give yourself headaches and things like that. And I just don't think if you're the type of person that sits down and spends 2 hours with your Remarkable, yeah, then I don't think you're going to want to sit down and spend 2 hours like reading and writing on this. So not in a wanna. Sorry, I'm off the vertical feed. They sold us as a drawing tablet, but Android have many software, absolutely. So you can make it whatever you wish it to be. Nothing like a camera or anything like that. So there's a lot of things that it can't be. All right, awesome. It's been really, really good hanging out with you as always. Thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you real soon. And the full video for that, I'm going to make sure I get it out by tomorrow afternoon or evening. So look forward to that. Thanks so much.